Hey everyone, welcome back to the lecture. In this video, this is the section 3 of our Databricks and Spark course. In this section, we will see how Spark actually works behind the scene, how it processes all your applications or data processing application. After that, what is the life cycle of the Spark application? We will create a Spark application as well. We will see the terminologies of Spark applications that are involved. So let's start it. So in this lecture, this is what we have left behind in the previous section. This is the logical diagram of the Spark architecture, where the Spark engine, that is in the core level, you can see this is the Spark engine which is responsible for processing all your data in the parallel way or parallel fashion in a cluster of computers. Then the second thing is there is a Spark core layer which supports multiple languages like Python, Scala, Java and R. And on the top of that, we submit our Spark application through different abstraction layers, such as we can submit SQL applications with the help of Spark SQL APIs. Then we can use Spark streaming application, MLlib and graph applications as well. Once we submit the application, they pass through core APIs and they were executed through Spark engine. But how Spark engine will do all this thing? Because Spark is like a clustered or big data processing framework, right? So it will submit that application to your cluster manager. It will negotiate with the cluster manager for different resources in parallel and then compute those applications on the compute cluster. And your data is taken from distributed storage. And you can see here, I have listed multiple options of distributed storage that we were using with the Spark. Let's come to the next thing, and that is how the architecture of Spark works. Spark is actually a driver and worker node architecture or master slave architecture, where a master node, a node is like a computer or a server which will decide and which will distribute the data processing task in multiple computers or multiple workers. So here is the driver node of Spark which will work in one computer of your cluster. Then driver node will instantiate the cluster manager and it will talk with the cluster manager for checking the resources that are the worker nodes. So here you can see there are three worker nodes I have listed here, and each worker node contains executor and that executor contains slots, right? So what is the worker? Actually, worker is like a computer or server where your big data processing application is going to be processed. Then here you can see there are executors in each cluster. But here for the demonstration purpose, I have just shown one executor. But your worker node may have more than one executors as well. Then the Spark application, after communicating with cluster and after knowing the availability of the worker node or the executors in the worker node, the Spark driver will communicate to your worker nodes. And it will communicate with the worker node. It will assign the different task or data processing task to your worker nodes. And those tasks are processed in the worker node on the slots. In the slots, tasks are processed and tasks are nothing but JVM processes. So it will communicate, it will process, and meanwhile your driver node will communicate with all these executors for efficient handling of your data. Let's see actually how the driver node architecture is, or how the driver node is structured, or how the driver works. So this is your driver node. First of all, when you submit the application to the JVM or when your driver starts, one driver JVM process starts, okay? And we submit our application to that driver JVM process. Then your application or whatever code you have submitted, that is analyzed, and after that it compiled, it creates a kind of directed acyclic graph or called DAG. We will see what is DAG and what is directed acyclic graph in future. But directed acyclic graph contains a graph or acyclic format that has to be executed on multiple nodes or multiple executors. Then in between, your driver node or a driver process will constantly communicate with cluster manager to negotiate the resources on the worker node in the form of executors and slots. Then whatever the directed acyclic graph created by DAG scheduler or your JVM process, it is provided to the task scheduler, and the task scheduler will convert these directed acyclic graphs in the form of tasks, jobs and tasks. So here you can see your task scheduler created multiple jobs, and it has the responsibility to schedule all your jobs, stages and tasks throughout the different executors in the different worker nodes, and it will communicate this thing to the worker nodes, and then your worker node process all those tasks in different executors and in different slots. So task is the very fundamental unit of a process in your Spark application or distributed processing application. So this is how driver node actually structures. Then what are the main functionalities of the driver node? So you can see here, driver node initializes your program or your application. Then scheduling of the job is also the responsibility of the driver node. It will schedule the job in different executors, and it will keep the track of the job. Then communication with the executors, like which executor processing which part of your data, that is the communication with executor, is also handled by the driver node or the driver of the application. Then the task management and the fault tolerance. We will see how the fault tolerance will work, but it will handles if some data is like failed, then it will recompute that data. That is kind of task management and fault tolerance that is also handled by your driver processes. Then memory management and garbage collection, shuffling of the data and transfer of the data. For wide transformation, we have to shuffle the data such as joins and group bys or filter. Then jobs and stages are monitored, and those monitoring and their health of different processes, different jobs, that is also taken care by your driver node. Then the termination and cleanup after your application completes, and the termination of executors or the processes, this is also handled by your driver node. So let's see how exactly a worker node is. So just imagine this is your worker node, which has like multiple CPUs. Like just imagine it has 64 cores and 128 gigabyte of RAM. Then you can create multiple executors in it, such as here you can see executor 1, executor 2, executor 3. So n executors can be created, and any executor can have multiple cores or one core. It depends on the tasks. So one task is assigned to a one core, or a partition of data is specifically assigned to a one core to process. Every executor has its own heap memory where it stores the data while processing. The Spark application processes the data in memory. That is the main functionality of the Spark that will make the difference from the traditional Hadoop systems. And in the worker nodes, we have common off-heap memory that is shared by executors as well. So this is the basic or the scratch level overview of your worker node architecture. We will see the in-depth how the worker node architecture will work in future. So for this video, how your Spark application, I hope you have understand. So in this video, I think you will get how the Spark application is formed, or how the Spark application is structured, or how the Spark application works. So this is all for this video. I will see you in the next video. Till then, happy learning.